Chapter 3 Design Principles for Web Connectivity. 3.1 Introduction. Application. It refers to software for applications such as creating and sending an SMS, measuring and sending a measured data. So, what is an application? So, application basically it is a software such as creating used for creating or sending SMS, measuring and sensing measured data. So these are basically tasks which application is performing. So this is application. Now API, application programming interface. It refers to a software component which receives message from one end. An API may get input to or from a server to user. So basically API is application programming interface. So it is a software component which receives message from one end. So it can get input from server. For example, consider an API for parcel tracking application. The API displays the fields for user input required for tracking, accepts the user input, displays a wait message to user, and sends input parameters to server. So for example of application programming interfaces, parcel tracking application. So this is an example for API. The API displays the fields for user input required for tracking, accepts the user input, displays a wait message. So API displays field for user input. So in parcel management system it is displaying fields for user input. Then it accepts the inputs. First it's field displays field for user input, then it accepts the inputs, then displays a wait message to user, then it displays a wait message to user, and then last it sends input parameters to a server. So it is sending an input parameter to a server. Now web service. What is web service? It refers to servicing software which uses web protocol. Example, weather reporting service, traffic density reports. So it is a servicing software which uses web protocol. So that is web service. Then object refers to collection of resources, for example collection of data and methods to operate on that data. So we will see an example for object. So example is time underscore date object with second, minute, hour, day, etc. So it is basically an object. Now class. Java uses concept of class which creates one or more object instances. So it creates one or more object instances. It is called class. Then communication gateway. It functions as a communication protocol translator. So it is a communication gateway is a communication protocol translator. Then client it refers to a software object which makes request for data, message and resources. So it is a software object which request for data, message and resources. So this is basically a client. Server. What is server? It is a software which sends response on request. So basically it is a software which send responses. So server is a software. Now web object. It is one that retrieves a resource from web object. Now broker. It denotes an object which arranges communication between two ends. So broker denotes an object which arranges communication between two ends. Now proxy. It is an application which receives responses from server. So proxy is an application which receives response from server. Now communication protocol. It defines rules and conventions for communication between network devices. Now web protocol. It defines rules and conventions for communication between web server and clients. So that is web protocol. It defines rules and conventions for communication between web server and clients. Now what is firewall? Firewall is one that protects server from unauthentic resources. So it does work of protecting server from unauthentic resources. State, it refers to aspect related to someone or something. So it is an aspect which is related to someone or something. Resources, it denotes something that can be read, written or executed. It can be identified by resource identifier such as universal resource locator. So resource is basically something that can be read, written or executed. Basically these are files or audios or pictures, etc. So these are resources. It can be identified by resource identifier such as universal resource locator. So that is URL. Universal resource locator is URL. Then that is resource. Now path, it denotes navigation path between two ends when accessing a resource. Path specification can be URI, URL type, etc. So basically it denotes navigation path between two ends when accessing a resource. Now URI. URI is a universal resource identifier generally used for saved resources such as contacts or address book. Now URI is basically your universal source identifier and generally used for saved resources such as address book and contacts. URL. URL is a universal resource locator used for retrieving a resource by a client. Saved resources may be document. So this, it is basically a universal resource locator which is used for retrieving resources which were previously saved on internet. Datagram, it refers to a limited size data, that is 2 raised to 16 byte. It is used for stateless connectionless transfer from a web object. So it refers to a limited size data, that is 2 raised to 16 bytes. It is used for stateless connectionless transfer from web object. Now representational state transfer REST. So it is a software architecture referring to ways of defining the identifiers for the resource. So REST is a software architecture referring to ways of defining the identifiers for the resource. Now multipurpose internet mail extensions, MIME. So MIME refers to type of files that are widely used by web object applications. Now RESTful. So RESTful, these are resources, it refers to one which follows REST constant. So resources which follows REST architecture, that is representational state transfer architecture, are called RESTful resources. Then UDP, it is a protocol at transport layer for web using internet and constrained RESTful environment. So it is a protocol for at transport layer for web using internet, and so it is used in constrained RESTful environment. Now hypertext, it refers to text embedded with hyperlinks. So hyperlinks are basically links which are shown by inverted commas. So it refers to text embedded with hyperlinks. Then hypertext transfer protocol is an application layer protocol for use of, so it uses hypertext as an app data transfer. Then hyperlink, it refers to a specification of URL at resource path. So hyperlink is a specification of URL at resource path. Now HTML. HTML is a language for creating a hypertext which refers to text that embeds text, images, etc. Extensive markup language XML. HTML is basically a language for creating a hypertext which refers to text that embeds text, images, etc. So it is a special language. Now extensible markup language XML. It is a language for enabling creation, sending, and receiving documents, commands, creating forms. So, extensible markup language (XML) is another language for enabling creation, then sending and receiving documents, commands, etc. So, this is basically another language. Now, what is browser? Browser, it is a client software which displays hypertext that enables navigation to hypertext links. So it is basically a client software. So it browser is used for opening web pages also. Now WebSocket, it denotes an API for bidirectional communication that has much less header size than HTTP. It denotes an API for bidirectional communication. So it is an application programming interface for bidirectional communication that has much less header size than HTTP. It has much less header size than HTTP. Now what is framework? It refers to provisions for a number of software libraries and a number of APIs, including those can be selectively changed by user codes. So it refers to provisions for a number of software libraries. So framework is a accessing framework is a procedure for accessing software libraries and number of APIs, including those can be selectively changed by user codes. 3.2 Web Communication Protocol for Connected Devices. Constrained RESTful Environment Core. So gateway in communication framework enables data of network devices that communicate over internet using REST software architecture. So basically constrained RESTful environment is an environment in which devices which support REST architecture. So gateway in communication framework enables data of network devices that communicates over internet using REST software architecture. Now constraint of these devices. There are few constraint of devices. There are few constraints like data is limited in size compared to data in interchange like HTTP. So constraint in devices are as follows, and this core architecture basically improves these constraints. So first is data is limited in size compared to data interchange like HTTP. Now second, data routing when routing over a network of low power and loss role. So data routing when routing over a network of low power and loss, then devices may sleep most of the time in low power environment. So devices can sleep most of the time in low power environment. So this is another constraint. Now unconstrained environment. Web application use HTTP and RESTful HTTP for web client and server communication. Web object consists of thousands of bytes. So unconstrained environment, web application use HTTP and RESTful HTTP for web client and server communication. So this is basically a block diagram of core, that is constrained RESTful environment. So here we have Bluetooth, which is low energy Bluetooth, then Zigbee wireless or wired devices. So in left corner we have that, then device 1, device 2 up to device I. So these comes under physical data link layer. So these are at left hand side. Then there is a gateway called IoT or M2M, network and gateway. So in this gateway there are protocols like LWM2M, 6L, LOW PAN, then Zigbee PAN, etc., and COAP, etc. So this is IoT or M2M, area network and gateway. So this comes between the devices, and then in the right hand part, that is web connectivity. So this is between those. So IoT or M2M, area network and gateway. So this comes in between. So this gateway comes under application layer. Now we come in network layer. In network layer we have web connectivity, in which we have COAP, then web object. In web object we have COAP client, then COAP client. Then in role section we have DTLS and UDP. In web object we have COAP and server. Now hundreds of bytes are going. COAP server, DTLS, UDP and COAP client. Now IP, there is IP also. Now there is IP also. Then HTTP server and TLS are connected. Then HTTP client and TCP are connected, and this is connected to IP. So this comes under network layer, transport layer and application support and application layer. So these are basically layers of this block diagram architecture of core. Features of COAP are: COAP web objects communicate using request response or interaction model. It uses object model for resources, and each object can have single or multiple instances. So features of COAP are as follows. First, COAP web objects communicate using request response interaction model. Then it uses object model for resources, and each object can have single or multiple instances. Resource identifiers use URIs as follows: COAP. Then it has a small message header of 4 bytes, are from version T, that is message type, TKL token length, code request method or response code, then message ID 16-bit identifier. Core communication is asynchronous communication over the role. Use of REST. Uses of representational state transfer. First is URI, that is universal resource identifier, then a subset of MIME type, it is a subset of MIME type, then a subset of response codes which are used for an HTTP object or resource. It is a subset of response codes which are used for an HTTP object or resource. So this is basically a block diagram for constraint application protocol. So first, in left hand side there are IoT devices. These IoT devices are connected with IoT area local network. So in which there is a COAP client. In COAP client there is object 1 up to object I. Then there comes a COAP server. Then there is a direct access to COAP server and IoT app. Then COAP server is connected to mirror server, and COAP client gives an indirect access to mirror server. Now COAP client gives is connected to resources directory. Then COAP client, then there comes two part, that is COAP client and COAP server. So COAP client is and server both are connected to IoT app. Now there comes a COAP client and COAP HTTP proxy. These are connected. Now HTTP COAP proxy is also connected to IoT local area network. Now HTTP server, in last, HTTP server and HTTP clients are connected to IoT application. So in last, HTTP server and HTTP client are connected to an IoT app. COAP client web connectivity. A proxy is an intermediate server which accepts a request from a client and sends response to client using a protocol. So proxy is a server basically. So it accepts request from client and sends response to client using protocol. So it is an intermediate server in between. Now HTTP COAP proxy accepts requests from HTTP client using HTTP protocol and sends request to server using COAP protocol. So using HTTP protocol, HTTP COAP proxy accepts request and then sends request to server and then it sends request to server using COAP protocol. Transport Layer Security (TLS), earlier known as the Secure Socket Layer (SSL), is the protocol used for securing TCP-based internet data interchanges. So TLS is a secure socket layer, is known as a secure socket layer. It is a protocol used for securing TCP-based internet data interchanges. Now DTLS, it is a transport layer security for datagram. Uh, DTLS is a transport layer security for datagram. So its features are as follows. First is it provides three types of security services: integrity, authentication, and confidentiality. Then it is derived from TLS protocol and binds UDP for secure datagram transport. So this is second feature of DTLS. Secured use of a key for client authentication. PSK, pre-shared key, is a method of securing using a key to authenticate a client. So PSK is a pre-shared key. Then it generates a unique encryption key for each client. It is generating a unique encryption key for each client. Now PSK is a symmetric key, means both ends 1 and 2 use same key. It is a symmetric key, means both ends 1 and 2 use same key. Now private key. Private key refers to key agreed for usage of data encryption between sender and receiver. So it refers to key agreed for usage of data encryption between sender and receiver. RPK, random pairwise key. It stands for raw public key, meaning only private public key. So RPK is random pairwise key. Lightweight machine to machine communication protocol. It was specified by Open Mobile Alliance (OMA) for transfer of service or data messages. Communication protocol that is lightweight means that it does not depend on call to system resource during execution. So communication protocol, it is lightweight, it means that it does not depend on call to system resource during execution. Lightweight presently means data transfer formats between client and server are binary. Then the protocol is compact one, meaning small header, it has efficient data model. So lightweight means the format of data transfer are binary. Then protocol is compact one, meaning small header, it has efficient data model. Now we will see lightweight communication, machine to machine communication protocols block diagram. So in left hand side there comes a Bluetooth low energy, Zigbee, etc. Then there is a M2M device. Then there is device 1, device 2 up to device n, and tens of bytes are transferred to M2M area local network. So LWM2M client. So in this left corner there are M2M devices. Then there is a M2M gateway which is transferring tens of bytes. Then M2M area local network. It uses LWM2M client which is from object 1 to object I. Then this comes under core and access network. Now interface section. It has a bootstrap, registration, report, object or resource access. So in resources there is in stack there is resources and COAP server. So object resources are resources access is connected to multiple things. So object resource access, it has DTLS, then UDP, SMS, then DTL. So it is connected to DTLS, UDP, SMS. Then through LWM2M client, it is connected to M2M service, etc. So this is a basic block diagram. Local M2M constraint devices use, for example, Bluetooth LE, Zigbee, etc. Tens of bytes communicate between device and PAN. Now JSON format. So JSON format, it is an open standard format used primarily to transmit data between server and web application as alternative to XML. Originally derived from JavaScript scripting language JSON. So JSON is now a language independent format coding of which can be done in Java or C. So coding of JSON can be done in Java or C. Tag length value format. In TLV, first two bytes are used to identify the parameter. First and fourth byte indicate length of actual data. Then MIME type. MIME type. Generic type files are application. However, MIME type files are used in web application and services. So MIME file types are used in web application and services. First feature of MIME type is it is for description of contents of various files. Then second is it is interest standard which extends simple mail transfer protocol. So it is an internet standard which extends simple mail transfer protocol. Then third is it supports message with multiple parts and header information. So it supports messages with multiple parts and header information. Then fourth is it was initially designed for mail, now it is used for internet media type. Then list of MIME type files is exhaustive. Example DOX, MS Word application. Second is HTML, third is HTML, and fourth is GIF. 3.3 Message Communication Protocol for Connected Devices. A device sends and receives messages. A communication module includes protocol handler, message queue, and cache. So a device sends and receives messages. A communication module includes protocol handler, message queue, and cache. Then message queue forms to keep a message until it is transmission towards destination. So it keeps message until it is transmission towards destination. A device message queue inserts, writes the message into queue and deletes, that is reads message from a queue. So that is a function of device message queue. So it inserts the message into queue and deletes message from the queue. Now 3.3.1 terminology. First is request response client server. A request or response message exchange refers to an object, that is client, requesting for a resource and an object server sending responses. So this is first is request response, that is client server. A request response message exchange refers to an object, that is client, requesting for resource and an object server sending responses. Then publish subscribe, PubSub. Publish subscribe. A service publishes a message. For example, a weather information service publishes a report of weather reports for potential receivers. So a service publishes a message, for example a weather information service. That means it is about publishing and subscribing. So a weather information service publishes a report and someone receives that report, that is subscriber receives that report. So that is PubSub, publish subscriber model. A group controller publishes message, for example measured value of ambient light conditions. Publication may be for measured values for state, information or resources of one or more types. So a group of controller publishes message, for example measured value of ambient light condition. So there is a group of controller which publishes message. Then publication may be for measured values for state, information or resources. Now resource directory. Resource discovery, this is a service. This service may advertise, publish at regular intervals. So this is a resource discovery. Then registration or registration update. Registration means a receiver registers with a service such as RD service. When one or more endpoints or devices or nodes registers, then that device gets access to resources. So registration means a receiver